audio off, and that means mute your microphones and make sure your video is not playing so we can save on our bandwidth. And everybody's presentation can be heard clearly. So if you could do that, that would be great. And court and no chats during the meeting as well, so that way it's not distracting. Let me introduce our Deputy Director of Virginia Space Grant Consortium, Chris Carter.
Hello, Joyce. Thank you very much. Thanks for all that are attending this morning. I'm Chris Carter, Deputy Director with Virginia Space Grant Consortium. Our Director, Mary Sandy, regrets that she can't be here with you today. I'm now going to turn my camera off to save some bandwidth, but I just wanted to do a brief overview. Today, we honor our Virginia Space Coast Scholars as they complete their summer academy. The Virginia Space Coast Scholars is the result of a vision shared by the Virginia Space Grant Consortium and NASA Wallops Flight Facility. Since its inception in 2013, more than 2,600 students from all across the state have participated in this program. With the continuation of the COVID-19 pandemic, we were forced to again offer this academy as a virtual experience. And we were very pleased that we were able to give you this virtual experience. The Virginia Space Grant staff and leaders from NASA Wallops have worked very hard to make this experience as close to the on-site experience as possible. I'm amazed at how comfortable the students are with the virtual environment, and we are extremely grateful to the Old Dominion University Office of Distance Learning for their support in creating the Academy's online environment. Today culminates a wonderful journey for our Space Coast Scholars. The students first spent November through April in the online course that taught key STEM concepts through a focus on missions launched or managed by NASA Wallops. Throughout their coursework, they were led by master educators, interacted with their peers, and studied material created by NASA experts. A total of 229 students completed the online course. Students who did well in that course were selected for one of 3 summer academies, and there are 40 scholars participating in this academy, which focuses on the exciting work undertaken at NASA Wallops. You'll hear more about their missions later. Yesterday, I hope you were able to see the amazing student presentations and done with such poise. The topics were great and well researched, and a big kudos to our scholars. Thanks to NASA Wallops for hosting this program and for the contributions of the many people working at this program. I especially want to thank the leadership at Goddard Space Flight Center and Wallops Flight Facility, especially David Pierce for his support. Very special thanks for our Wallops colleagues, Joyce Winterton and Linda Sherman, who are our partners in making this program happen, along with the support of Victoria Dana and Patricia Benner. I also want to give a special thanks to the NASA Wallops subject matter experts who mentored our scholars this week. Charles Younger, Sarah Roth, Valerie Giselle, Kyle McAllen, Thomas Jordan, Alfred Fordham, Kathy Hesh. Thanks to the NASA Wallops presenters, Marianne Simcoe, Jeremy Eggers, and a big thanks to Ed Murphy from the University of Virginia and Chris Hales from the Mid-Atlantic Regional Spaceport. We are committed to engaging students from throughout the Commonwealth, including those students in areas that generally don't have access to these kind of programs. That's why everything we do is free. This program would not be possible without the master teachers and student interns who work so closely with the students. Thank you to all of you. Thanks to our amazing staff, Rudo Kashiri, our VSGC Education Programs Manager, who provides leadership and oversight of this program. And I want to applaud Joyce Kubrick and thanks her for her tireless work and coordination of the program. Her creativity and experience have greatly enhanced this program. Jan Dotzhauer has provided program support, and Michael Golding, who has been capturing the students' experiences this week in video and still photography. Thanks to all the parents and students who helped to capture this experience on video as well. The culminating video of this week's experience will be shown later in the program. Many Virginia Space Grant Consortium opportunities are open to scholars at their next steps. In their junior or senior years, they can take Virginia Aerospace Science and Technology Scholars or Virginia Earth System Science Scholars. Both of these programs are done in partnership with NASA Langley, and they include a course and a summer academy hosted at NASA Langley. In this program, you can have the opportunity to earn up to 5 dual-enrolled college credits. For aspiring commercial pilots, we offer Pathway Flight Academies, a 12-day residential summer academy that provides ground school plus 10 hours of flight training. All of these applications are open in the fall. And as you move into college, we offer several scholarships, fellowships, and industry internships, space flight design projects, and many other hands-on programs. So you are now in the Virginia Space Grant and NASA pipeline, and we hope to pipeline and stream you to a future with NASA and in STEM. Thank you. Very proud of you. Parents, you have something to be proud of you. We thank you for your support. And now I'd like to introduce Joyce Kay. Thanks.
Okay, so I just want to go over a little bit about what our program is for those of you who may not know the extent of it and how actually really special these students are that are here this week. So the program starts off really in December, where we select students to participate in the online program. The online program lasts from December till April, and the students actually complete assignments and work. This is like papers, technical papers, and math assignments and things like that. And they do this for that length of time. There's 5 modules, and it all surrounds around NASA Wallops, and the final culminating project at the end is designing a mission. And so they have to use one of the platforms that Wallops has. They design their mission and they get grades. And based on their academic achievement and teacher recommendation, they are invited to attend this summer academy. I mean, in the past, except for last year and this year, it's been actually at NASA Wallops Center. So the past 2 years, it's actually been online, and that's just due to COVID. So hopefully next year we'll be back at the center again. But I do feel that this program online has offered a tremendous opportunity for students as well as being there on the site. So we couldn't do this without our teachers. So the students, were invited, and they were invited, and we had to have master teachers that come and work with the students as well as interns from different universities. The interns have all participated in some way with Virginia Space Grant Consortium and some of our other programs. So I would like to acknowledge them now. So our ELV would be with, I think it's Elizabeth Johnson, sorry. Elizabeth Johnson actually was the master teacher for ELV. And her intern is Jamie Boudreau. So thank you both. Our next teacher would be Liz Petrie. She's from UAS, and her intern was Erin Driscoll. Thank you both. Our next teacher is Melissa Hamilton. She did scientific balloons, and her intern was Pratham Chosky. Thank you. The next one would be Ben Bukukovaris, and he did sounding rockets, and his intern was Michael Hancock. And Casey Reuter, another master teacher of airborne science, and her intern was Brian Young. Thank you all so much. Without you, this would be very difficult, if possible at all, okay? So this is our program, and I would also like to thank our media specialist, Michael Golding, and you'll see his video at the end of this. Now I'd like to give you back to Chris Carter, our Deputy Director, and he will introduce our guest speaker.
It is my pleasure to now introduce our guest speaker, Brenda Dingwall. Brenda is the NASA Goddard Space Flight Center Wallops Flight Facility branch head of the Guidance, Navigation, and Control and Mission Systems Engineering branch. Among her many accomplishments, Ms. Dingwall has published several papers on increasing the number of students pursuing technical careers, with a particular emphasis on reaching at-risk students, as well as several technical papers on small satellite development. Brenda, thank you for the partnership, and the floor is all yours.
Well, good morning. On behalf of Wallops, I'd like to thank all of you, participants, teachers, Wallops colleagues that participated in the Virginia Space Coast Scholars program. I had a chance to sit and watch your presentations yesterday, and I just have to say, wow. It's really clear the large investment of time that everybody has spent to make this program a success. And your presentations were impressive, and it gives me great hope for the future. And for the students, I hope you notice the incredible passion that my colleagues, our engineers and scientists, bring to their work. And if you share this passion, I really hope that you continue to pursue careers in science and engineering, and ultimately that this experience will inspire you to continue your relationship with NASA, and that you will pursue internships and fellowships and ultimately come to work for us as a scientist or an engineer when you finish college. But I also want to talk to another small group of you. And unless this group is extremely unusual, there is at least one of you out there who are thinking, you know, this is really not for me. I don't want you to feel badly about that. That is absolutely okay. As you move into the career portion of your life, you will sometimes get experiences that are exciting and you say, yes, I really want to do this. And sometimes you'll get, no, I really don't. And both are equally important. Knowing what you don't want to do is just as important as knowing what you did. So if that's you, keep trying things, keep pursuing. We need you to be fully engaged in whatever you do. At NASA, we are primarily a science and engineering organization, but we also have teachers and accountants and doctors and lawyers and technicians. And we need our entire NASA family to have mission success. And our country needs all of you, the best and brightest, and you are the best and brightest by virtue of being chosen for this program, to be fully engaged in their passion. So with that, I want to congratulate you. You have done incredible work. We look forward to having you again. I really hope that we're going to see the names that I see here on internship applications in the very near future. And we ask you to keep in touch. Keep in touch with me. Keep in touch with your NASA mentors. We can tell you about internship opportunities. We can also offer guidance if you get confused. I'm thinking about this or this and what I actually want for my career. We want to hear from you, and we want to continue a relationship, and we want you to be part of the NASA mission. So thank you and congratulations.
Okay, well, thank you, Brenda Dingwall, for that nice words to our students. Right now, what we're going to do is you're going to see a brief presentation from each platform from the project manager. So we're going to call them up one at a time, and their intern will be sharing their brief presentation. Our first group will be ELV.
Okay, thank you for introducing me, Joyce. So for the ELV group, we're doing our project name is called the Automated Gravitational Observatory Spacecraft, short for AGOS. And in this mission overview, we aim to capture high-resolution pictures of exoplanets, which are much alike Earth in that they don't require equipment like a spacesuit on the surface in order for humans to survive. We will utilize an array of CubeSats which is necessary to view such exoplanets. This mission also aims to push humanity's presence in deep space much farther than Voyager 1 or 2 using new technologies. To do this, we will utilize the sun's gravitational field as a magnifying glass, the Einstein ring, which is capable of 100 billion optical magnification, or a 6-mile area on exoplanet, light years away. Next. The instrumentation on this aircraft. To get this data, we will be using 15 of the largest CubeSats available in the 27U size. In order to power this equipment, we have to use an ASRG, which is a miniature fission reactor for each satellite due to the satellites being so far away from the sun, making solar panels unreliable for proper power. Next panel. Finally, the platform we're using to start off our mission is the Antares 232 configuration offered by Northrop Grumman. This is a similar configuration as the Antares that launches Cygnus to the ISS, but with an addition of a Star 48 SRM. But we are baselining the addition of the additional 2 Star 48s to meet the delta V, or change in velocity. Requirements of our payload. These additional stages take up room in the fairing and limit the total number of CubeSats volume-wise. This platform has extensive flight heritage, with the Antares being flown 9 times today in the 2030 configuration, and the Star 48 being flown over 100 times. This increases our likelihood of mission success overall. That's the boiled down version of our presentation.
All right, well, thank you, John Simpkin. That was very nice presentation.
Yep.
It would have been, you did a great job yesterday too, as well with your
Yeah.
team.
A lot
All
explaining.
right. Well, thank you, ELB. So we're going to move on now to our next platform, which is sounding rockets.
All right, there we go. Okay, hello everyone. My name is Ava Schwarz and I was the project manager for the Sounding Rockets team. The mission we designed is the Atmospheric Radiation Measurements and Effects, or ARME Sounding Rocket mission. Next slide, please. The platform we selected for our mission was a Mark 70 Orion sounding rocket mission. And we had 2 main science goals. First, to collect data about the radiation in Earth's atmosphere, and second, to determine the effects of this radiation. We chose to launch our sounding rocket twice in 2 different locations. First in White Sands, New Mexico, and then second in Poker Flats, Alaska, in order to gain a wider spread of data by launching the sounding rocket at different times of year and in different places. The stakeholders for our mission were NASA, the Wallops Flight Facility, Langley's Atmospheric Science and Data Center, the United States Department of Energy, and the World Health Organization. NASA and the Wallops Flight Facility will use the information collected from our mission to expand their repertoire of Earth science research. The Atmospheric Science and Data Center will use the data collected from our mission to accomplish its goal of studying Earth's atmosphere. The United States Department of Energy will use the information to improve radiation regulations, and the World Health Organization will use the data to make better informed public safety decisions. Next slide, please. So our mission has 2 main science goals, as I mentioned before. The first one is to collect data about radiation in Earth's atmosphere. We will do this by studying the types of radiation, radiation levels, and determining the most prevalent man-made type of radiation in the atmosphere. Some of the instruments on our payload that we will use to accomplish this are a Geiger counter, which will measure the ionizing radiation particles in the atmosphere, and Medipix chips, which image the speed and energy of particles. Our other science goal is to determine how radiation affects the atmosphere. We'll do this by studying how the radiation affects the temperature and seeing what the effect of UVB radiation is. Some of the instruments aboard our payload that we will use to accomplish this are infrared cameras, which we will use to measure the temperature of the radiation by spectral imaging, and a spectrometer, which will measure the intensity of radiation. Next slide, please. The impacts of our mission will be manifold. First of all, the ARME mission will enable a deeper understanding of radiation and its effects in the atmosphere by providing scientists in the fields of radiobiology, environmentalism, and more with new information. The data spread from our mission is unique in that our variety of instruments provides a much deeper wealth of information than if we were to have a more limited payload. Our mission will also use infrared cameras to measure the temperature of radiation and create a visible map of the radiation in Earth's atmosphere that scientists across many fields can utilize. Finally, our mission will positively affect citizens globally by enabling scientists as well as organizations such as the Atmospheric Science and Data Center and World Health Organization to create better plans for both combating harmful atmospheric radiation and its effects on both a large and individual level. Next slide, please. We'd like to thank the heads of the Virginia Space Coast Scholars Program, the presenters and subject matter experts who shared their knowledge with us this week, as well as our master teacher and intern. On the right, you can see a picture of the Sounding Rocket team, our instrument specialists, Lana Assad and Calvin Gaspar, our research scientists, Michelle Eno, our applied scientist, Jocelyn Browning, our public relations specialists, Natasha Rulapag and Angelina Stevens, our environmental specialist, Niranjan Arade, our master teacher, Ben Bakubarakis, and our intern, Michael Hancock. Thank you very much for listening.
Thank you, Ava. What a great job. Thank you for summarizing your presentation. All right, so our next group will be moving on to scientific balloons.
Anisha, I think you're muted.
No, the mic's not muted. Anish?
Anish might be having technical issues. Do you see that he's on?
He's on. His camera's, there he is.
Oh, there he is. Okay.
We cannot hear you.
Oh, no.
Now,
Now we
Yes.
hear you.
We hear you.
1 second. Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can
Yes.
hear you.
All right, sorry. Sorry about that.
That's okay.
Okay. Hi, my name is Anish, and I'm the project manager for the Scientific Balloon Group. Our mission is the Observing Gamma Ray Emissions, or OGRE mission. Our mission will study the polarization of gamma rays from pulsars, which are the remnants of ancient supernovas. The mission will specifically study the Crab pulsar and the nearby Gaminga pulsar, which are shown on the slide. The mission will build off of the Gamma Ray Polarimeter Experiment, or GRAPE mission, which also studied the Crab pulsar. Instruments called polarimeters will measure the angles of the waves emitted by pulsars and detect patterns in these angles. This will allow us to analyze the pulsar's geometry and particle movement within the pulsar. A GPS and heaters will monitor the overall health of the balloon. Finally, solar panels and lithium-ion batteries will power the instruments. Our mission uses a long-duration scientific balloon. Unlike ground observatories, the balloon will directly observe gamma rays at an altitude of about 40 kilometers. Since our payload weighs about 5,000 pounds, we require a balloon with a volume of 40 million cubic feet to reach this altitude. We chose to use a zero-pressure balloon because of the weight of our payload. The balloon is not sealed, so its altitude will fluctuate with day-night cycles. However, our instruments will be able to track the pulsars despite this. After 2 years of planning and a practice flight from Fort Sumner, New Mexico, our mission's final launch in December of 2024 will be from McMurdo Station, Antarctica, to prevent the balloon from flying over populated areas and to maximize our flight time using Antarctica's circular winds. The 24-hour daylight of the Antarctic summer will minimize the balloon's altitude fluctuations. By using GPS, the balloon will avoid fragile habitat areas shown in orange on the map. We will track where the balloon lands and recover it as quickly as possible to minimize our environmental impact. Using the mission's data, we will better understand gamma radiation and pulsars, which will benefit physics organizations and NASA. The mission could also be applied to understand the effect of gamma radiation on the Earth and our environment. Our mission will include a substantial education outreach program. We have created various lesson plans for elementary, middle, and high school students to learn about the solar system and scientific balloons. Our mission will also partner with universities with large astronomy programs and offer college student internships as well as teacher fellowships. To inform the public about our mission, we have created a fact sheet, website, press release, and various social media accounts as shown on the slide. We will host a drawing and naming contest for our mission's mascot, the Ogre. We will even paint our payload green. I want to extend a huge thank you to our Scientific Balloon student team, Aditi and Lily, our research scientists from the Science Office, Sarah, our applied scientist from the Science Office, Elizabeth and Aaron, our public relations specialists from the Communications Office, Madeline, my fellow environmental scientist from the Environmental Office, and Meredith, our instrument specialist from the engineering office. I've had an amazing time working alongside each one of you, and I couldn't be more proud of our project this week. Finally, designing this mission would not have been possible without the invaluable help of many people. We would especially like to thank our master teacher, Dr. Melissa Hamilton, our intern, Pratham Choksi, and our platform expert, Sarah Roth, among many others. Thank you so much for making the Virginia Space Coast Scholars Program an incredible experience.
All right, thank you, Anish. That was great. Okay, so we're going to move on now to airborne science.
All right, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Okay. Hello, everybody. I'm Ganesh Ravarapu. I'm the project manager and research scientist of the Airborne Science Team, and I present to you the Climate Change and Wildfires Prevention Mission. So the mission overview. So our first aim of the mission is to establish correlations between natural wildfires and climate change. And we are going to assess how greenhouse gases impact the overall likelihood of wildfires occurring. Another aim of the mission is to determine the likelihood or probability of natural wildfires occurring in areas. And we're going to do this by collecting data, by mapping distributions and concentrations of greenhouse gases, temperatures, and wildfire locations. And we're going to use all this data to just make an overall mathematical model, like for predicting the likelihood of wildfires occurring. And some stakeholders that will be helping us are the Wallops Flight Facility and Bureau of Land Management. Another stakeholder is the Federal Emergency Management Agency, which will help in extinguishing any wildfires. The aircraft we will be using is the P-3 Orion. The launch site of the mission is the Ames Research Center in Northern California, and the mission timeline is from 2023 to 2026, so that will be 3 years. So the instruments and the impact. So the primary instruments of the mission are the AVIRIS, the Airborne Visible Infrared Imaging Spectrometer, the Atmospheric Infrared Sounder, and the Advanced Lightning Detection Finder. So the AVIRIS basically detects all the greenhouse gases in the atmosphere and also detects the humidity in the atmosphere. The AIRS also detects greenhouse gases. It measures the temperature and locations of wildfires. And the ALDF, it detects where lightning occurs. And that's huge, really important because lightning is one of the main causes of natural wildfires. And the overall impacts of the mission is by predicting like when and where these wildfires occur, we will be able to mitigate these wildfires and reduce the casualties that the wildfires cause. We can also prevent ecosystems and environment from being damaged and species from being endangered from these wildfires. And to mitigate the overall environmental impact of the aircraft, we are going to use some eco-friendly or clean burning jet fuel. And lastly, the path and the outreach. The P-3 Orion will travel 3 stops to collect data throughout the mission. The stops will be the Tahoe National Forest, the Shasta Trinity National Forest, and the Mendocino National Forest. And we are going to inform the public through education by giving appropriate activities to elementary, middle, and high schoolers. And we are going to inform the public by sharing content of the mission through press releases, websites, and social media such as Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram to make the public stay informed and stay interested in the mission. So for all this, I would like to give a huge thanks to the Wallops Flight Facility, Virginia Space Grant Consortium, Virginia Space Coastal Scholars, and I would like to give a personal thanks to Mr. Younger, Ms. Benner, Ms. Kubrick, our master teacher, Ms. Reuter, and my intern, Brian. And I would also like to give a huge thanks to my team because I had a great time working with you, and I really couldn't have done this mission without them. So thank you.
All right, thank you, Ganesh. That was a great review of your project. Okay, so we're going to go to our last group, and that will be UAS.
Hi everyone, my name is Benito Esfasti. We are the UAS group and our mission is Mapping Avalanches, Prediction, Prevention, and Ensuring Response, or MAPPER for short. Our mission aims to predict and prevent avalanches through the use of UAVs. So we are going to collect necessary data on how avalanches form and what causes them, using UAVs and instruments on our UAVs that get those measurements. And using this data, we're going to try and predict avalanches. And if we predict an avalanche and it is safe and possible to prevent the avalanche, we will have ground teams go and prevent the avalanche. If prevention is impossible, or if an avalanche suddenly occurs that we didn't predict, we are going to work with ground teams to find people who may be caught in the avalanche and also work with ground teams to get people to evacuate in time. Our mission platform is the Vanilla UAV. It's a mid-sized UAV. It's versatile, reliable. It's very good at withstanding the harsh conditions of the mountains it'll be flying in. It has a 10-day flight time, and it can hold up to 5 instruments on board. It has a highly efficient combustion engine. It uses diesel fuel, but it is still really efficient, so it's not too bad for the environment. And we're going to have 2 of these vanillas at each of our 4 sites. So our 4 sites are going to be Colorado, Alaska, Nepal/India, and Switzerland/Austria. The instruments on board the vanilla are going to be LiDAR and photogrammetry cameras. They take 2D and 3D images of the mountains, from which we can make models and take measurements in order to predict avalanches. The LiDAR can also take snow depth measurements, which help to predict avalanches, as well as help rescue teams to not only keep the rescue teams themselves safe, but also to help the rescue teams find people. And we'll have some ground teams and ground stations, which will also be taking ambient air temperature measurements. And we'll work with the global seismonetic network to get seismic data. So our mission predicts and prevents avalanches, which will be able to help save lives at each of our locations. This also helps with future avalanche research. So we're going to be partnering with a lot of avalanche organizations in the countries we're working in, as well as international organizations, and we're going to share all our data with them so they can continue and further avalanche research. We are also going to have a lot of educational outreach. So we've got things like elementary, middle school, and high school projects to educate those kids on not only NASA, but also our mission specifically. The mission will help to reduce damage to infrastructure in areas under threat of avalanches, so local communities, their land, human lives, wildlife as well. And we're also going to work with, for legality, we're going to be working with like the FAA and other government facilities in each of the countries in order to get flight clearance. And that's pretty much everything for the mission. We'd like to give a huge thanks to everyone who made this program possible. We had so much fun. I know everyone in my group really loved it. And we'd like to give an especially big thanks to our master teacher, Miss Petrie, our intern, Aaron, and our subject matter expert, Mr. Jordan.
Okay, thank you for that good review of your platform. So we would love to hear from all of the students, all 40 students that were here this week, but that would take quite a bit of time. So I've selected a few students to just come up and talk generally about their experience they had this week. So the first student I would like to call to talk about her experience is Elizabeth Courtney.
Hi, I'm Elizabeth Courtney, and I live in Winchester, Virginia. So I have to start off by saying when I first got the email from my school counselor about VSCS, I filled out the course registration with the only thought in my mind being, hey, this looks pretty cool. The worst thing that can happen is me being rejected. But little did I know that it would blossom into such an amazing experience. This VSCS Summer Academy, along with the online course beforehand, really introduced me to a spectrum of new ideas that I never would have had access to without it. While this course focused on NASA and space exploration, I definitely learned a lot from my team. Many of you may not know this, but my team, the scientific balloon team, experienced a little bit of a setback on Tuesday. We ended up having to completely scrap our original mission and create a whole new one. Now, even though it was hard, we were not discouraged and pushed forth, and I find that truly remarkable. And I'm not trying to be biased for my team at all. Well, maybe I am being a little biased, but you should have seen how much we were able to complete on Wednesday after our reboot. In addition, the special speakers who presented were very interesting and informative. From touring the Mid-Atlantic regional spaceport launch pads to listening about how to make an effective PowerPoint presentation, the presentations opened my eyes to new opportunities and concepts. Overall, being able to meet so many other students and specialists from all around Virginia was really extraordinary. And seeing all the amazing ideas from the other mission platform teams was even more extraordinary. Now, as I start wrapping up this whole thing, because I don't want to bore you guys by talking about how awesome this course was for like 10 minutes, I would just like to say a special thank you to Dr. Hamilton, Protham, and my fellow teammates for making this week so much more memorable. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Elizabeth, and I'm glad you enjoyed yourself. Our next speaker will be Tanishka Mehta.
Hi, I'm Tanishka Mehta, and I'm from Ashburn, Virginia, and I was part of the Airborne Science Group, and I love the experience of this week. We completed a lot of activities which helped me learn about the various parts of a mission. And also,
Tanishka, we can't hear you. Can you sort of speak up a little bit?
oh, okay, sorry. Can you hear me now?
Barely.
Okay. Can you hear me better now?
Yes, that sounded better.
Okay, I just had to change some settings. Sorry about that. Okay, hi, I'm Tanishka Mehta, and I'm from Ashburn, Virginia, and I was part of the Airborne Science Group this week, and I loved the experience in the Summer Academy. We completed a lot of activities which helped me learn about the various parts of a mission, and it also opened my eyes to all the effort that goes into a mission because you have to consider the effects a mission can have on the environment or on society. I also learned more information about the different types of mission platforms, some of which I wasn't very familiar with. I also really liked the speaker events because they were very beneficial for these aspects because they talked about the environmental issues the planet is currently facing, such as rising sea levels due to climate change, as well as different platforms that are used at various facilities, such as at the Mid-Atlantic Regional Spaceport. We also learned essential presentation skills through the events organized. The most interesting presentation for me was the one yesterday by Dr. Ed Murphy from the Astronomy Department at the University of Virginia, which talked about whether we're alone in the universe. This has been a question that has been asked by many people for so many decades, and with more research on radio astronomy, this might be the way that we can communicate with other civilizations outside of Earth. And I found this super interesting because if communication outside Earth is possible, this would quite literally be a life-changing experience for everyone. My favorite part about the Academy was being able to collaborate and work with so many other people within our team and with other teams for the mission project. And this allowed us to gain multiple perspectives on our ideas and create many connections. Overall, I learned a lot about NASA missions, and this experience definitely increased my interest in STEM and pursuing a career at NASA. I'd like to thank the Virginia Space Coast Scholars Program staff, as well as Ms. Reeder, Brian, and my team this week for the amazing memories and friendships I've made. And I look forward to doing many other programs over the next few years with the Virginia Space Grant Consortium. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Tanishka. That's great. I'm glad you had a good experience. So our media specialist has put together a wonderful video, sort of going over the whole week that we spent here at online. So through Wallops Flight Facility.
Three, two, one.
Virginia Space Coast Scholars Program.
We're very pleased that you have chosen to spend part of your summer with us. I think it's going to be an exciting week for you. I just really want to thank Linda Sherman, our education team, the Virginia Space Grant, Old Dominion University, all of our subject matter experts who are going to make this a very valuable and exciting week for you.
The most challenging part was definitely day one, because it was quiet and like we were hiding in the camera kind of. But like as the days went on, people started to get more comfortable with each other. I think everyone just came out of their shell that they were kind of in there.
Actually working together in a team, which would also give me more experience as to how an actual mission would be playing out.
The goal of the Arizona mission.
Typical airborne science missions.
Main goal was to survey
Mission goal.
operational cyclone.
Having a position, doing your job, like working with a team, I think it's something that this industry, especially like aeronautic engineering, like most engineering teams.
Just the term NASA, they're like, oh, so just space related stuff. I'm just like, no. There, it goes from environmental just down on Earth. It could be atmospheric.
Our mission is a natural resource for enabling worldwide low-cost, high.
3, 2, 1, 0 ignition and liftoff of Peloton 5.
I'm going to tell you like it is. It is a lot of work, but it's a lot of fun. You are going to develop friendships.
Like meeting new people, networking, and meeting the master teachers that are subject matter experts who are actual people who work in that career. So meeting those people and learning from them, learning what they're doing on a day-to-day basis, I think it's a really great experience.
This is the start of your NASA pipeline. You're going to hear those words, where we want to keep you involved in STEM, in NASA, and the opportunities that you can gain from that, the job opportunities, the lifetime opportunities.
I would recommend this program because it really gives firsthand experience. I think there are a lot of programs where you can like learn about NASA or learn about missions and stuff, but like with this one, being able to actually design a mission, learn about like how working in the field actually works, and like all the challenges.
It was amazing. It was an amazing opportunity for me to be in it. I think even though it's supposed to be like in person, I think everyone did a great job with it being virtually.
Just for a moment, because I'm hearing myself. It's weird, like, whoa, that's me.
I mean, you get really good, like, direct information, and I think that's something that's really important. It's like,
I'm going to tell you like it is. It is a lot of work, but it's a lot of fun. You are going to develop friendships that many of them
Generally enjoyed every second of the presentation, learning new information, just I never thought I'd be intrigued about, like the environmental aspect of NASA. So I was like, okay, yeah.
We're the UAS team, and our mission is mapping avalanches, prediction, prevention, and ensuring response.
Overall, social media will bring awareness to the mission by posting facts about climate change and wildlife.
You learn so much about NASA than you've ever learned before.
You probably don't have
much work experience yet, but I think one of the goals of this program is to give you a sense of what it's like to work on a team for NASA.
Okay, well, that's the closing of our week one, which was a fantastic week. And thank you, parents, for sharing your exceptional students with us. I always learn from them every week. So make sure that they look over our other programs that we have for the next academic year, which would be BESS, which is more earth science, and then BAST, which is more of an engineering type of program. So look those two over, and thank you again for a wonderful week.
Joyce, may I make a few parting comments?
Sure.
I would just, on behalf of Virginia Space Grant Consortium, I would just like to again thank Dr. Joyce Winterton and Linda Sherman at NASA Wallops Flight Facility. This has been a tremendous partnership over the years, and I've seen the impact of this program on these students throughout the pipeline. And you're opening your doors to NASA Wallops and all your subject matter experts, and your expertise in helping to shape this program and its content has just been wonderful. And I applaud y'all for the great work you do in the STEM pipeline. So thank you again.
Thank you.
Joyce, it's Linda. I just wanted to say we appreciate that it is a great partnership, and working with the students is just our favorite part of our year, actually. This is a program we look forward to all the time. So thank you, and we can't wait till the next one.
Right. Thank you, Linda. Enjoy the rest of your summer.